What happens when you strap yourself to a 500 horsepower RoboCop bike and hurl yourself toward the horizon at the speed of sound? We don't know, but Dodge might. The American car landscape wasn't exactly awe-inspiring in the early 2000s. This was the era that birthed famous automotive mishaps like the Plymouth Prowler, a sleek retro roadster that was betrayed by a weak power plant. It also gave us the Pontiac Aztek, which is essentially a lifted minivan with a face only Walter White could love, as well as the venerable PT Cruiser, a car everyone loves to hate despite the fact that Chrysler sold millions all over the world. Back in the halcyon days of 2003, before the return of the Dodge Charger and several years before Dodge started calling everything a Hellcat, the only performance car to wear the Dodge badge was the Viper. At the heart of every Dodge Viper is a gargantuan V10. In fact, the first Viper was little more than a V10 engine, a steering wheel, and a tube steel frame. This car gave the Viper its so-called bite, and it's also one of the primary reasons the Viper is so fondly remembered today. It came from a time where the performance division of Dodge seemingly decided to just wing it when it came to building sports cars. Dodge extended this ethos to its concept vehicles. One such idea was the Dodge Tomahawk, a vehicle so positively insane that its top speed is listed as theoretical because no one was brave enough to test its limits.
I feel the need for speed. Ow!
The Tomahawk wasn't really a car per se. It had four wheels and an engine, but that's where the similarities end. The 2003 Dodge Tomahawk concept consisted of four wheels, a 500 horsepower 8.3-liter V10 sourced from a Viper, some foolhardiness and design for good measure, and that's it. 500 horsepower out of a huge V10 could be hard to handle in its native Viper, but it might as well be the power of a Saturn V rocket when it's powering a Tomahawk.
Roads? Where we don't need roads.
At 8.3 liters, the Tomahawk's engine sported a larger displacement than the 16-cylinder power plant in the Bugatti Chiron. It's also more than 6.3 liters larger than the engine in a Harley-Davidson Street Glide motorcycle. This is the distilled essence of a Viper in a vehicle that would give any insurance policy adjuster night terrors. The vehicle first debuted at the North American International Auto Show in 2003 and was met with both confusion and awe. At the time, Chrysler's Trevor Creed said, "The Dodge brand philosophy always challenges us to grab life by the horns. In the case of the Tomahawk, grabbing and holding on to anything for dear life is a necessity. It's just that extreme and passionate, a glimpse into the soul and commitment of true enthusiasts." Chrysler claimed the Tomahawk could reach a top speed in the neighborhood of 400 miles per hour, making it one of the fastest vehicles ever made by a car manufacturer. Chrysler didn't know the actual top speed, however, because, like we said, nobody was willing to strap themselves to a V10 and propel themselves to a little over half the speed of sound.
Higher, further, faster, baby.
The Tomahawk concept weighed 1,500 pounds, which is heavy for any motorcycle-like object, but dangerously light for a vehicle with a V10 engine. For comparison, the Mazda Miata, a car known for being light, only weighs a little over 2,300 pounds. A Formula One car literally made to be as light as possible has to weigh at least 1,759 pounds per F1 rules, and those vehicles at least have seatbelts or some form of restraint that prevents the driver from hurtling out of the car in the event of a crash. The Tomahawk didn't have that luxury. Of course, the Tomahawk never actually went into production, and it's easy to see why. According to Dodge, the vehicle was never actually meant to see the light of a dealership showroom. It was more of an experiment than anything else. In fact, it's not so much a vehicle as an engine that requires piloting, so maybe it's better consigned to the history books.